Okay, so welcome to this video, and in this video we're going to talk about mock-ups. Now mock-ups can be used in scratch building, but it's also used in just setting up a layout. I find mock-ups to be extremely helpful because it gets me a chance to see the building and everything in three-dimensional in the layout, and I get a feel for how everything looks. And the purpose of a mock-up is just that. How does it look? How does it fit? Is it accomplishing what I want to do? Now, given that situation, we have to look at the theme of my model railroad. This is a 900 square foot railroad, and yes, it's modeling the joint line through Denver and focusing on the sugar beet industry. But one of the things that I also made as a theme of my railroad is I wanted large buildings. Buildings that would justify why is a boxcar sitting in front of this factory? Why is, what is Union Station large enough to look like it's a respectable station? I can't model them to actual scale, but does it look large enough to meet the needs of what I'm trying to portray? Does this area here look large enough and fit together to make it look like Denver? So mock-ups help me do that. And again, it doesn't have to be scratch building. And you don't have to have the laser to do the mock-ups. I used to do mock-ups with simple printing up in cardstock and taping them together and setting them on the layout so that they actually help me decide, is this doing exactly what I want to do? So the nice thing, like I said in the tool video, is that the laser just basically makes it quick. I was able to cut this entire mock-up and glue it together in 2 hours, and it allows me to then manipulate it, move it around, and decide how it's going to fit together. So that being said, one of the things that this really did is as I was setting this up is I noticed that I could expand it some, and that was important to me. Not that it had to be bigger, but the fact that as I looked together and I was working on this side over here and looking at buildings that I was going to be putting into there, I was like, I have some extra room and I can add 6 more inches to this building, making it 46 inches long, and that would put 2 more doors on there. So instead of 11, I have 13. So I would have 13 doors up there, and it'll create the image of a very large facility. Now, the Union Pacific built this in about 1932, and you're only seeing half of this building. There was actually 2 sets of them, and what happened is that in the center were the tracks that came up, and they would push the cars in there, unload the cars, and then the side you're seeing is opposite of where the railroad cars are, and these are where the trucks load up. Now in the prototype railroad, this is exactly what you would see from track side. As I said in the beginning of this thing, this is where the Denver baseball stadium is today. And if you go to Google and you go to the 20th, you can actually see from the new 20th viaduct, you can look down and you can see this building. But it's been cut off by quite a bit because it would have been into the baseball stadium. So that being said, that's why it's changed. But you can, as you saw in my videos, you can see portions of this building. So that's what I'm kind of doing. It gave me a chance by mocking it up to see how it fits. The other thing I wanted to do was to put my trucks in front of them. Now, I am not a semi-truck expert, not even close. I know that they exist, and I know that the guys that drive them pretty much live in them and do everything. But in 1959, I have no idea if 53-foot trailers were in existence, or only 20 or 32-foot, or only 28-foot. I'm just not up to speed on those type of things. But this is a 32-foot truck right here, and this is a trailer with a 53-foot. So I'm just basically seeing, does this make sense? Can a truck come in here and park into this area? Does it look like it fit into the scene? And that's what the reason for the trucks are all there. So that being said, that's really why you work with mock-ups. Again, like I said, this is not something you could only do with scratch building. I find mock-ups to be handy in just working on anything that I do. It gives me that three-dimensional feel to see how it fits into the layout. So that's this video. I hope that helps. As we're speaking, the laser is currently cutting some of the walls, so hopefully we'll be getting into that soon. But until next time, Happy modeling.